What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Lineup HQ NBA Showdown for Game 6 of the NBA Finals. I'm here with SquirrelPatrol. We're going to once again break down some of the players we like for this game, similar to the last game, but maybe some difference here. So we'll figure it all out as we go, but should be a good one. An elimination game now for Boston, back in Boston. So it's going to be interesting, very, very interesting tonight. John, how you doing, man? How's it hanging today?
Good. Yeah. I mean, the series is kind of shaping up like we've been talking about the whole series, right? We're kind of aiming for this game 7 on Father's Day. We'll see if it happens. I got a pretty good feeling about Boston tonight. I think they're got the home court advantage. Everybody always overreacts to the last game in the series during the finals because, it generally flips, back and forth between the home courts. So I like Boston a lot tonight in both DFS and sports betting.
Yeah, just generally paying attention to some of the guys on the TV after the Golden State win for the last few days. Everything's like, oh, is this going to be the best Steph Curry championship ever? Is this like, whoa, guys, it's not over with yet. Just, the series isn't, but like you said, everybody overreacts to the one game. So in DFS, you can't overreact to one game. So we're going to see what we can put together here. Let's start off on DraftKings tonight, and the last game we kind of hinted at, Steph Curry kind of maybe could be in for a tougher game last game, and he was. Now it's a showdown, so raw points matter so much that you're still going to end up. We still ended up playing him a little bit, but we were on Tatum. Tatum was a good one, and then you got to hit the other guy. Andrew Wiggins, man, keeps on delivering in the series. So we're on DraftKings looking at a captain here tonight. What do you think? I got to think if we're going to favor Boston here, we got to be thinking about a Boston captain.
Yeah, I agree, and I think both Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins could end up being a little bit overowned. It doesn't necessarily mean we want to fade them entirely, but I like the idea of going with a Boston guy in the captain spot. Like Jason Tatum is my favorite captain, but I think he's going to be pretty highly owned as well. I'd say either Tatum or Jaylen Brown.
Okay. Yeah, man. And then that's a tough one too, because Tatum had the really good game last time out. I got to think he's heard enough talk about, his fourth quarter performances and how poor he's been. And people say he's had a poor series. But man, so I got to think he could bounce back tonight. But Jaylen Brown's a little bit cheaper. He's been really consistent this series. I don't know, man. Let's flip a coin and let's say Jaylen Brown. Let's save a little money. How about that? We'll go Jaylen Brown. Go Jaylen. So now we got to figure out our utility spots. Are we doing the double Boston, Tatum, and Brown in this lineup, and thus putting Tatum here, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, let's try Tatum and see. Then we'll have to start getting some cost savings. But let's go with Tatum. That gives us a little over 6,000 remaining. And then there's another Boston guy that I really like, Robert Williams. You can see his minutes are up last 3 games in the series. I mean, he had been dealing with a knee injury, so he's been playing limited minutes early in the series. But as we get fewer and fewer potential games left in this season, I mean, there's no reason to hold back. We can go at all. So, so I think that's our 3 Boston guys right there. And then, we're going to have to be a little bit cheaper with the Golden State guys.
I don't mind going a little Boston heavy. If by some chance this is a blowout, and it could be, it's in Boston. Boston could blow them out. I don't see Golden State blowing Boston out in Boston, but I could see Boston having one of those things where you look up at the end of the first quarter and it's already a 15-point game, and we know how this goes with Boston. Then they just blow you out, and it's 25 plus points in the third quarter. And if that were to happen, I still think with the big rest in between games, Boston guys still stay in there to make sure they secure like every bit of that victory. Whereas Golden State may say, oh, okay, we got our game 7 back at home. Let's pull these guys off now. And if there is a big blowout, maybe we don't see the big guys for Golden State go the last 9 minutes of the fourth quarter. They may lose 8 or 9 minutes of their game time if that was the thing to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. This thing could come down to the wire, but if it happens, that could favor our Boston starters staying in there and Golden State getting out. So it's just shaping up to be a pretty good roster here if we're playing this the right way, which means that we go cheap with some Golden State guys. Maybe some guys who, if it were a 20-point game and Curry and Clay and those guys lost a few minutes in the fourth quarter, who would get them? So how are we looking at, what are we looking at? A guy like Jordan Poole, maybe? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jordan, from the sentence, I thought you were just going to just answer the sentence with Jordan Poole, because that's exactly he's going to get the minutes. And then when Poole's out there with a bunch of the bench guys for Golden State, he's the one that's going to be taking all the shots. And they've been leaving him in late. So yeah, I think Poole fits this team to a T.
Yeah, he's going to get his minutes earlier in the game, and if he's hot, he's going to stay in, and if he's not, then he could come back in for some blowout time if it were to be a blowout. I'm not saying it's a blowout, guys. Don't quote me on it. But if it is a blowout, it's Boston blowing Golden State out. So after that, what are we looking at here? We can make it happen. We got 2 spots left, 57.50 per spot. There's plenty of guys down here on a build like this. We're saying Boston's going to win, and there's a chance we need Boston to win big here. So, we could go down there with some of these other guys. We could do another Golden State guy who's cheap and come back with a 4th Boston guy in a blowout who's a little bit better, who could, help contribute to that blowout. So, or we can just go 2 mid-range guys here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at those really cheap guys, and I think a lot of them fit this build, because you can say if this game's a little bit of a blowout, like maybe you'd have some more Gary Payton minutes, maybe some more Peyton Pritchard. Maybe we could use another Golden State guy. So maybe we put Peyton in there and see how much we have left.
Yeah, Gary Payton fits it because he'll get a few minutes regardless of the outcome of this game. And if it is a blowout, maybe they get him. Maybe he gets some of those fourth quarter blowout minutes, and they try to get him. He hadn't played much in the last couple series, so he's not tired, and they're going to have a lot of rest. So I don't mind that. That leaves us 7,300 for our last spot, which is actually a very quality player. Whatever we could have a Golden State starter on here, or a Boston starter, or a Derek White. There's a lot of options right here. We won't fill it out, but on this kind of a build where we're at 3-2 right now, and it's kind of playing towards a Boston blowout, who would you run out there in that last spot?
Yeah, I'd be looking at Derek White, figuring. So you got to figure with this lineup. It's just raw points, but we also want to get a little bit different. And I think, this lineup is saying maybe Golden State starters aren't getting full run, and maybe Boston is leaving one of their bench guys out there a little bit longer. Derek White, matching up with Jordan Poole. And that would leave us a lot of salary on the table. There wouldn't be a lot of lineups that started out like this that didn't go for Al Horford or Draymond Green. But Derek White, if he's getting extended run, it's a couple of his 3-pointers, maybe he's outscoring those guys.
Agree, 100%. I would go Derek White there, but I won't fill that out for you guys. You can knock that out. Fanduel. Now it's different. We don't have to save that money up top, and we got 3 different tiers. We got 4 different tiers, technically, of players we need to choose from. So MVP is not so easy to fade Tatum and Curry all together in one of these top 2 spots. What do you say about the MVP spot over here on FanDuel?
It's a little bit tougher. Probably going to go Jason Tatum and try to get a little bit different at the star or pro. I think we did a good call last show talking about Andrew Wiggins. I think he was less than 1% owned in the MVP spot. This one with Boston at home, it's a do or die game. I think we go with Jason Tatum.
And then for the star spot, I still think you're going to see a lot of people put Steph Curry in the top 2 there, either the MVP or the star. So maybe that's where we get a little different, is not having him on this roster. Maybe not having him on, did we need him last game? I don't even think he didn't hit a 3-pointer, I don't think. And let me see, I'll pull up his game log here. 36. Now, you really didn't need, raw points do matter a lot, but 36 wasn't great. So Do we need Steph Curry, or do we have to, or should we put him in one of these next two spots?
I think we can fade him. I mean, he's the most expensive player on the board, so I think we can. We could put in Jaylen Brown there or Andrew Wiggins in the star spot, and then have put together like 3 quality players, and then we just say Curry gets priced out of this roster.
All right, let's do Jaylen Brown. I mean, I think we're both on Boston here, so makes sense. And Andrew Wiggins has had a couple of back-to-back monster games. We got about 10 grand left per spot. Are we doing Wiggins here, or are we changing up everything?
I'd say let's do Wiggins, and then I'd say we do Wiggins, and then
if it's not Curry, then it's got to be Wiggins, or else they just don't hang in this game at all.
Right? And it's like a 40-point blowout, Boston.
Yeah. Blowout. So let's put a little Wiggins. That leaves us 9 grand. A lot of money for 2 utility spots.
Yeah.
Now I think we're pretty chalky, kind of up to this point. Maybe Jaylen Brown in the star and fading Curry gets us a little bit different from a lot of lineups, but anybody doing that is going to play some combination of these guys. So we're kind of chalky. Maybe this is where we get a little bit different at. 9 grand left for 2 spots. How's this playing out in your head?
So I think we maybe go with the same theme as our DraftKings lineup, and we go with Jordan Poole.
Okay.
And then I think for the next spot, we got to leave some salary on the table.
Jordan Poole's in there. 9 grand left for that last spot. I mean, we got Tatum and Brown in the top 2 spots. So that's a Boston. We're hoping for a Boston win, probably, maybe even a blowout. Wiggins to keep it relatively close for 2.5 quarters or whatever it is. Poole can get us regular points, in regular time or garbage time. He can be that guy. So we're kind of on another Boston blowout almost. Like, it wouldn't hurt us to have a Boston run away with this game and to see some Draymond, Clay, and Steph Curry all lose a handful of minutes in the 4th quarter, which would bring into play maybe one of these other guys down here. So I don't know. Last spot, there's a lot of options. I don't know if I want to go that guy. Should we do another Boston guy here? I think another Boston guy would fit the build.
We do Peyton Pritchard, say he goes crazy off the bench.
That's shrewd right there. Yeah, I get it, man. That gets us different for sure. Peyton Pritchard. Like, if you're in that build right there, and guys will go to like a Grant Williams, who's more like, probably more on the tip of their tongue than Peyton Pritchard, but Peyton would get us different, a unique lineup, and it fits the build. If that's and not only does it doesn't even have to be a Boston blowout. We've seen this guy come in, taking the place of a Marcus Smart or Derek White for a few minutes, and get hot on the offensive end and put up good points in the first 3 quarters that aren't a blowout. And then if it does happen to be 8 minutes left, 25-point game, he's probably going to be the guy handling the ball for Boston the rest of the way and eating up the rest of those minutes. So I don't mind. I think Peyton Pritchard's a very, very shrewd play tonight. So, man, I think that's it, man. I think that's kind of where our head's at. What do you got? You got anything else here?
No, I mean, it should be a good game. I definitely am expecting Boston to win this thing. It's going to go 7 games. And that'll be great. I mean, we'll have an NBA Finals, hopefully Game 7 showdown single game format. Should be exciting.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest sports bettor in the world, but my goodness, I'd be surprised if this thing didn't go 7 games. So take that for what it's worth. Now it'll probably be a Golden State blowout. But guys, we appreciate you tuning in for the game. Maybe, just maybe, there's a Game 7 on Sunday, and there'll be another program here to kind of walk you through it. But for now, I think we're done. So good luck in those GPPs. For Squirrel Patrol, I was your host, Chopper. Until next time, we're out.